Alright, today we're going to be going over the basics of slope. What is slope? How do you find slope? What are some of its basic applications? Alright, so first of all, we're going to learn how to just look at a line and can I get a general feel of what the slope is without doing any math, really. So, look at a line like this, right here. This is going to be positive. And how do we know that it's positive? Well, we read from left to right. If we're going from left to right, it's going upwards. We could maybe draw stairs on here that we walk up because it's going upwards. And so left to right, it goes up. That's positive slope. Over to the right of that, we have negative slope. It's just the opposite of positive slope. From left to right, it goes down. We could draw a little ball on here. That ball would roll down the slope because it's negative. So left to right goes down, ball would roll down it. It's negative slope. Left to right, it goes up. You could walk up the stairs. It's positive. Just a straight vertical line is undefined slope. There's nothing has nothing to do with slope, really. A straight vertical line. So that's undefined. And a straight horizontal line has no slope. And that makes a lot of sense, because if I put that ball right there again, it's not going to roll anywhere, because it doesn't have slope. Now, how do we calculate slope? Well, it's just the change in the y over the change in the x, or rise over run. I'm sure you've heard that before. There's this equation, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I personally do not really use this. Or I don't think about this in my head when I'm doing it. All I do is I think about the amount the y changes, the amount the x changes, and whether it's positive or negative. You don't have to worry about this order. This y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. If you already know if it's, negative or positive or has no slope. Alright, let's just take a basic look at this slope here. So, we do change in y first, so that's the up and down. I can see right now that it starts at 10, and over here it goes all the way down to 0 slope in the up and down. So it starts here and it goes all the way down to here. So that's a change of 10 that I can see very clearly. Then we're going to do the left-right change, and that's the x. I can see that at this point, it's 0. And over here, it's 10. So that's 10. So that's not clear. First we measured the up and down. Then we measured the left and right. In this case, they were both 10. So this is the y, this is the x, and it's y over x, so it's 10 over 10. We know that simplifies down to 1 or 1 over 1, because we're talking about slope. That's up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. But that's not the end of it. We can see very clearly that this is go left to right is going down. So we know that it's a negative slope. So we're going to throw a negative sign in front of that. So it's negative 1 over 1. What we originally found, negative 10 over 10. So that's simple enough. Here we have something very similar. I'm going to look at the rise right here. It starts here, which is 0. And it goes all the way up to here, which is 10. So that one changes 10. And now we're going to look at the left to right change. So it starts at 0, and it also goes all the way to 10. So that's 10 too. So these two both are 10 over 10, but this one's positive. We can see that it'd be like left to right, like walking up the stairs we talked about. It's going up, so it's positive. So 10 over 10 or 1 over 1, or 1 is the slope. Technically, it is just 1, but it's nice to think of it 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, etc. Alright, let's look at maybe just making up a slope and then seeing what it would look like on the graph. Alright, let's make up a slope of, let's say, 1/2. So, first of all, what does that mean? 1 over 2. So, we know it's positive, so we know it's kind of going up this direction. We also know that it's going up 1, but now with the 2, that's different. It's going over 2, so it's up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. So instead of kind of being that nice 45 degree, it's going to be a little more leaned over, like this. So let's make a little graph here. Let's just go 5, 10, 5, 10. So it starts at 0. We're going to start this one at 0. It goes up 1 over 2, up 1, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. So at this point, we've gone up 2 and over 4. So it would be at this point right here. 4 and 2. So it's going up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. We can continue doing that. Eventually get over here to 8 and 4. So that's just the basic of how that would work. So it would look like, let's see here. It would look like that. Let me erase some of that stuff. It would look like this. It would be a little flatter than our other slope. It's positive. And that's how we would draw it out. Let's do a negative example. Let's do negative 2 over 3. We know that this is a negative slope right off the bat, so we know that it's going kind of like down the hill, like the ball would roll this direction. Let's start a little higher because we know it's going down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So it's something like that. So this time let's start up here at 10, 5. So it's going to go, let's just throw somewhere in there. So it's going to go down 2 over 3. So right here we'd be at 3. That's not drawn so well. There we go. Down 2, so the 6, and over 3 would be over here. So that would be 6, 6. This is 8, 3. So we look at the negative 2 rise over run thing. We can see that this number, the x, or the y, my bad. Sorry, I did that backwards. I did that completely backwards. So it's 3, 8. Okay, that's better. And this one is still 6, 6. Okay, that's better. We can see that the y, as in the run here, is going down by 2 every time. So the next one will be something 4. And the one one after that will be something 2. And this, the x value is increasing by 3 each time. So it's going 3, 6, until this will be 9, and this will be 12. So that's the order that goes in if you're just looking at it. So it'd be kind of like 12. That's what that would look like. Actually, no, it doesn't go to 12. It goes to it would go to 14, 0. So it would look more like this. And then 14, 0 would be over here. We'll just take a quick look at slope-intercept form. And that is y equals mx plus b. And let's take a simple graph to go with it. So the y is just the y variable here. The x is just the x variable. The two important things here are the m, which is the slope, and the b, which is the y-intercept. Okay, so the y-intercept is just where the graph meets the y-axis here. So if it was 0, and then went from there, this would be the y-intercept. If it was, I don't know, 5, and went from there, then 5 would be the y-intercept, etc., etc. The slope is what we were talking about earlier. It could be any number. It could be negative 2, 3, negative 1/2, 4/5, 5/4. It could be anything that would be a legitimate slope. So let's just create a line and analyze it using the slope-intercept form one time. Let's give it a positive slope. Let's say that this is 2 and 10 up here, 10 over here. Okay, so right away we know that our b value is 2, because it's where it meets the y-intercept, or the y-axis, it's the y-intercept. So from there, we can plug in a y and an x value with the y-intercept to find the slope. So let's do that. Let's just do, let's see where this ends up being. Okay, let's just do 10, 10. So let's try that once. Y is 10 equals slope 10 plus 2. So we're going to subtract 2, 8 equals 10m divided by 10, 8 tenths equals m, or 4/5. So there. The slope is 4/5, so it goes up 4/5, up 4/5. Hope that makes sense. I just want to get a basic sense of slope.